Okay, so this is part 2 of my Blade 350QX versus DJI Phantom or comparison. I did have a chance to fly the Blade, and I've got some things to say about that. But real quick, I just want to mention some things that I noticed as far as the design goes that seems to be different. The first thing is the Blade uses all self-tapping screws, from what I can tell, that just screw into plastic on the other side of the shell for the camera mount, and also for the arms and the shells. Just something I noticed and observed. And it also something else I noticed about this model is even though it's working with a full-size Spectrum 5, the antenna is still just a tiny little copper wire there. So I'm really not sure how usable this is going to be for, even moderately long-range FPV flights. So that's something to consider. Also, if you look inside here, there's really no standalone flight control or anything. It's just one board, one distribution board, some really thin gauge wiring. The model even has ferrite rings for the speed controllers, which I thought was kind of strange. Doesn't seem like it's something that's needed, but they are there. The arms also, I noticed, are a little bit more flexible, or quite a bit more flexible on the Blade 350 model, which may be a good thing for some people. It's probably not going to break quite as easy, but the Phantom is definitely not quite as flexible as that. There's a tiny bit of flex, but it's much more rigid. And the reason for that is the Phantom has metal inserts that attach the screws. On the top shell, there are metal aluminum pieces that are screwed into the top shell that you then screw down through the bottom shell, which make for a really rigid structure. Look at my notes here. As far as flying the machine, it flies okay. It's kind of confusing for a more experienced pilot, maybe not so much for a newer pilot, but when your transmitter is all the way in the 0 position and the indicator light is green, it's in GPS mode and smart mode, as they call it. If you're used to a Phantom or NASA or Wukong M, it's a lot like being in home lock, intelligent orientation control, and GPS at the same time. And what I mean by that is, however far out you're at, or at any point in time that you're in smart mode and you pull back, regardless of your nose position or how it's pointing, it's going to come back to you. So that's one thing I didn't really like, is the GPS and the intelligent orientation control, as we know it from DJI, is kind of all combined into one flight mode. Once it's in the middle position, it's into the stability mode, and as far as I can tell, it doesn't have any GPS hold or anything like that, but it does have just a level type hold. And then it's in all the way down when the red LED is on. This thing is just crazy. It's in manual mode, and it almost doesn't seem usable. Also has a high and low rate switch too, which I don't really find usable either. And makes the model kind of fly. It's almost like there's a delayed response. The transmitter itself, I'm not a really big fan of either. Actually, I really like the DJI Phantom transmitter. It just seems a little bit more progressive, and I don't know, I'm just getting used to that slim feel. It's really smooth. It's a pretty nice transmitter. I kind of like it. I prefer it over the Blade, definitely. I'm sorry, the DX5. Now, a couple other things I noticed about the 350 that some people may actually like is it actually comes with the anti-jello mount, which the Phantom does not. It's something you have to add on later. And it also has a on-off switch, so you can plug your battery in and then just turn the model on or off while the battery's plugged in. The other thing I noticed that was kind of cool about it was it is pretty powerful. When you hit the power and you do a punch out, I mean, or some fast forward flight, it is very powerful. So as far as power goes, that's pretty cool, but some of the other things I mentioned before kind of make it a little bit less attractive for me. And for the price difference now with the Phantom being at $479 or whatever it is since they dropped it, I just think it's a no-brainer. But some people might like some of the features of the blades. So anyways, guys, just thought I would do a little part 2 comparison. Going to be flying it some more tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get some video of that. Thanks.